Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at La Montana Cerveza. This is coming in at 4.1% ABV. And since most of this is in Spanish, we're going to have to talk about the rest of it during the video. So this is coming up next. Check it out. Hi everybody and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review. Today we are looking at La Montana Cerveza. And I'm sorry, I hate bringing the phone on, but you know what? The vast majority of this is in Spanish and I'm having a really hard time, so I'm going to use Google Translate for this. Now this is another beer sent to me by a former student named Neil. Neil is a world traveler and all of that, and he has sent me a beer inspired by the Yuta Coleman, which has baquiano and Chilean sage, loaded with aromas inspired by the wild forest of Estero el Agil. Alright, so we have all of that there. What else? Can't translate that. What's he got on the back? It says deep copper-colored smoked beer with low turbidity and medium foam formation. Smoked notes, bacon, smoked ham, walnuts, raisins, clean fermentation of lager without fruit ester, making it a very light beer to drink. And coming at a 4% ABV, yeah, I think that is a pretty light beer to drink. So this should be smoky and copper colored. Now, gonna crack it open. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Neil told me in his note, and I'm not gonna pull the note out again because I pulled it out now on two different videos, that this was one that he enjoyed with, it's a one-off by the company that does the Volcano del Sur beers, which have been great. And this is another one. Neil, again, thank you so much. He said this is sort of a smoky one-off that they do. I guess this must be a more rare version of what they make. So let's see. Copper colored. Yeah, nice copper colored. Again, reminds me almost like a barley wine color to it. All right. Now, I don't know what the proper glassware for this is, so I'm just rolling with a tulip. Oh my God. The bar is filled with this sweet, smoky aroma right now. Not only sweet and smoky, but it is definitively pork-based. Like almost a smoky, I don't know if you've ever had it. There's a place in New York and I guess across the country called Morton's. It's a steak place. And they have these bacon steaks. That's what this smells like. It's like a piece of bacon about this thick. And you can smell sort of the fat and everything. And you have it as like, your appetizer. This reminds me of that smoky, sort of porky sort of aroma to it. Yeah, there's definitely, I'm getting more of that bacon smoke as opposed to ham. And a sweet sort of savoriness to it. This is an interesting aroma. I have to be honest, I'm not sure how much I'm going to love this one. Because while I can pick everything out of the nose, this is not stuff that I absolutely adore. It's stuff that I sort of like sometimes. All right, here we go. This is interesting. So there is that mid-tongue porkiness to it. On the front, there's a lot of smoke. And that smoke is sort of wrapped around that sort of like bacony flavor. And that's the dominant mid-tongue flavor. As you swallow, there's also just a little bit of bitterness there. It's savory, but it's gonna sound so crazy. But what I would love in this beer is a little bit of saltiness to it. It's got a really good smoky flavor to it, but I feel like the smoke is just a little overwhelming. And I'd almost like that saltiness to sort of break it up just a little bit. That being said, if you were eating something that was salty with this, I think you would have a real winning combination. So I could see how this would go great with like a burger, fries, a steak that's been, you know, like you drizzle a salt over it before you grill it. This has got a really nice, complex, meaty sort of flavor profile to it. Yeah, I like this. I do. Listen, is this a daily drinker? Definitely not. I can see this as a beer that you would curate specifically for, let's say, you know, people coming over when you're making steaks, and this would be one that you could share out, and it would break up sort of that salty sort of steakhouse flavor to it. I like this a lot, but I think this is a beer that I would need to pair with the appropriate food. All right, so this one was once again La Montana Cerveza, and honestly, it might actually be whatever is here, but I can't read that, nor can I think that's Montana, but I can't read it and it's not coming through the translation. Would I drink this again? Yeah, this is a really interesting beer and would be a really interesting beer to share with other people. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is like the smokiness of this. This could be a great tasting beer, especially paired with like a whiskey or something like that. But I have to say right now, I really enjoyed this beer, and it's just so outside my normal comfort zone of beer. I have to again give it up to Neil. Really, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to try this. Anyway, folks, it is actually Sunday when I'm doing this, and I'm about to go barbecue, so this one's gonna come with me, and gonna try this out with some of the steak I'm cooking tonight. Anyway, folks, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Cheers.